We got the audio genius Justin on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
He does sound effects and music and stuff. It's like
toilet flushing, farting noises,
high-tech,
that kind of thing.
advanced shit.
We got a real morning zoo crew situation going on over here.
Well, then you would need to do the audio sound effects live.
Okay, I'm
You
gonna
need like a soundboard.
I'm gonna out myself as not knowing what's morning zoo. What is that?
Oh, it's sort of like a trope in like
Morning
shows.
radio shows, like
the
the
Bob and
Breakfast
Tom
Club.
show.
Oh, I know Breakfast Club. I've heard of that.
I mean, the Breakfast Club is like a little bit more specific to a certain demographic, but it's like the just sort of like trashy morning radio shit.
Yeah,
they're on for like 5 to 6 hours
They
straight.
have like sound effects that they run. Like it's just like a style of radio broadcast, I guess.
Yeah, like Rush Limbaugh, basically.
Yeah. I mean,
well, can we discuss him being worm food now?
Yeah, we can talk about
Sure,
that.
that'd be fun. Hey, unless you've like already like tread that water.
No, we haven't talked about him at all yet.
I worked in a cubicle farm, and there was this guy who was like a supervisor of a different department who was in the cube next to me, and he would play Rush Limbaugh out loud on his radio. The entire broadcast, 3 hours every day. Like, I mean, I had my own headphones so I could drown it out, but like he played it out loud for like 3 hours a day.
Playing anything out loud is
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say this about Rush Limbaugh. He looked like he sounded.
This is Rock Hard Caucus. This is our 52nd episode. My name is Justin.
That's as many weeks as there are in a year.
It is as many weeks as there are in a year, and we've been doing the show for well over a year now, but we don't do one every week, it turns out. And that voice you just heard, that's my friend Evan. Hello, Evan.
Hey.
And we've got Natalie here, too.
Hey.
Those are familiar voices, people who are here frequently, but we've also got a couple guests today. A few months back in October or September, I think.
It was October.
Okay.
Like the first week.
Evan and I went on a different podcast called Radio Free South Dakota, and that's hosted in South Dakota by a couple of people who live in South Dakota. And we have those couple of people here with us today. We've got Matt.
Hello.
And we've got John.
Howdy.
All right. And just for our listeners to make sure that they can tell the difference, Matt, say hello one more time.
Hello.
And John, say hello.
Hi.
All right, that should be enough. Listeners, they're two distinct voices. You should be able to tell them apart.
I'll talk a little more lyrical. I'll make it easier.
Yeah. Matt will do some freestyles.
Don't fucking say that shit to me, bitch.
We would love to hear it. We would love to hear some freestyles.
Yeah, Matt's really good at it.
That's like a flop sweat nightmare for me. Like that's some shit I wake up from, and like the idea of having to like perform or like rap in front of anyone, like I would rather shit my pants in public and just be like, oops. And, like,
do you rap in private though, by yourself?
No.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm listening to a song and I have it in my ears, but I could never do it like on my own.
Right. Yeah. I've been having dreams recently where I've been like cast in a play at the last minute and I don't have time to memorize the script or anything.
And you're naked.
Actually, yes, that did factor into the most recent one. I had to figure out my wardrobe and I was going on stage in like 4 minutes, you know. That's a stress dream that I've been having frequently for some reason.
Were you in high school plays?
Yeah, not since high school have I done anything like that. Actually, Natalie and I were in a play together once.
We were in a play together.
What was the play?
That was written by Stella, wasn't it?
Yeah, by a frequent contributor, Stella. It's funny as fuck. She's so funny.
I played Natalie's father.
Yes.
Oh.
We look like we could be
healthy.
that kind of father-daughter relationship, I think.
I don't know about that.
We're both small, so that's the thing.
We've got similar statures, that's true, yeah.
Statures.
So to start things off today, I was listening to a podcast a few weeks ago, and I got a targeted ad in the podcast, which I don't really understand how that worked, because I just downloaded an MP3, and there was an ad in it directed at Iowans.
Oh.
Yeah, they do that now. That's like some high-tech
genuinely frightening. I don't like
Maybe
that
they
at all.
just happen to be doing their Iowa ads that episode. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be that too. But no, they literally like leave a spot in podcasts and then they like insert ads like dynamically, like as you download it. It's like insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was like they had a million different versions of the same file, or if the ad was inserted upon download
they
time.
literally insert it upon download time. They check where you're from.
That's pretty fancy.
Damn.
But I wanted to play this ad for you guys. It's about South Dakota, so I kind of wanted to get your impression of what this ad has to say.
Okie doke.
Hey, Cedar Rapids. Dreaming of fresh air adventure in the great wide open? Look forward to future travels in South Dakota. Out here, there's always more to explore. Find room to roam in great places like Black Hills National Forest and Badlands National Park.
I've been there.
Give them a quick Google to see the trails, waterfalls, and landscapes that make our state so unique. When you're ready to travel, great places are waiting in South Dakota. Learn more at travelsouthdakota.com/COVID.
Felt like I was in church.
COVID. That's great.
Sorry, I didn't realize it was going to be loud as fuck. Like
No, that was okay. I liked the church organ and like the chimes and shit. I was like, man, this is cosmic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a buddy down in Cedar Rapids who's been up here and he's called it a dump like 2 out of the 2 times he's been here. So
Cedar Rapids.
Most people consider Cedar Rapids to be a dump. It's a city of 5 smells because of the amount of manufacturing, like corn products that happens there.
I like the travel South Dakota /COVID.
I like the fact that the voiceover guy definitely was not from here because he pronounced forest. That was weird. I like stuck out like a sore thumb. I was like, what the fuck? Where did they get this guy? All right.
I love the idea of advertising like a whole state, just like when they run advertisements for like eggs. Just like
I've seen advertisements for California in like movie theaters before. Like that was weird, but like I know like Noem is really trying to gun hard for tourism in the past like 2 to 3 years. And yeah, there's genuinely gorgeous parts of the state. It's also like just gutted to shit in terms of like any resources there. So when you go there, there's nothing to do except absorb pretty scenery and not die.
Or go to Applebee's.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, love me some Applebee's.
I've traveled like east through west all the way through South Dakota. And yeah, it is like there's so many signs on the interstate for like wall drug, fucking Badlands. I've been to the Corn Palace. I mentioned that on your podcast.
The Corn Palace was so disappointing.
It's just literally a building with
so disappointing.
corn cobs glued to it.
It is transcendentally unimpressive. You like walk in and you're just like,
it's just like a gift shop.
It's terrible.
It sounds so awesome.
Does it?
The Corn Palace.
It sounds like something I would love.
My Iowa family was drawn in immediately. We're Corn Palace.
That's our heritage.
I'm all over that
that's
shit
something
too.
we have in common. It's corn.
The Corn Palace is where the Corn King and Queen reside.
Got some good soy too. All right. Jeez.
Yeah, that's true. We got soy. We got more pigs though.
Yeah, we're really a pork state, to tell the truth.
We're a pork state.
Justin, when you sent me the message, you were like, "Oh, I got this clip to show you that I heard on a podcast about South Dakota." I thought you were going to show me like an ad for a different South Dakota podcaster.
Oh,
and I'm really glad you didn't.
Yeah,
because I was like, okay, we got
competition.
Yeah,
another left-wing South Dakota podcast sounds like fucking too good to be true. That's hilarious. I think if there ever does come to be like any bit of competition, we need to just absorb them.
Yeah, just do a merger.
Yeah. It'd be great. Yeah, new friends.
Yeah, there have been a couple. Like, there's stuff cropping up around here recently. Like just this morning I saw Gavin Aronson of the Iowa Informer. He just started a new podcast, which I consider that to be, shots fired at us.
Disrespect. Is it a more palatable name? No offense, I love your name. It's just, is it something you can put on like a newspaper?
It's probably a better podcast. I mean, that's why Justin's concerned about it.
Well, I brought it up. It does seem pretty cool. It's called Iowa Off Kilter, which, yes, is a much more palatable name. It seems to be more focused on like weird things that happened in history in Iowa.
Oh, well, that's fun. I don't know. All we have is Wounded Knee and Get You Manitou.
Oh, depressing.
And I guess Custer's Last Stand, but that's like kind of partially going into like Montana and Wyoming.
Oh, I thought you meant podcasts.
Jesus Christ!
Podcast called Wounded Knee.
That would be in such poor taste. Yeah. Jesus Christ, that would. Oof, dame. That's a lot.
I haven't listened to this yet, but the first episode is about Norman Baker, a fiery charlatan.
Oh.
Who started the Cedar County Cow War. It sounds pretty fun.
That was a hell of a time back in the Cow Wars.
Yeah.
The Cow Wars.
Not many survived to tell the tale.
And we've cited Gavin's work on this show several times, so I'm sure the show is probably good. And maybe I'll invite him on here to even, share some of the audience.
I will tune in. That sounds awesome.
So you mentioned Noem, and you're referring to Kristi Noem.
Chomsky. No, Chomsky.
Kristi Noem Chomsky. Kristi Noem Chomsky.
Have you made that joke on your show already?
Shit, I don't know.
I don't think so.
Oh, John, we gotta... Shit. All right, well, it's done.
More like Kristi Dome, am I
right? John, your wit is fucking palpable. I'm like feeling it all over my tongue. It was good. No, it was good.
I'm making an SNL packet that I think I'm going to send out.
A fucking itinerary of things that you're like, I got to do this when I work here. Okay.
No, packets. That's what they call it when you audition for them, basically.
But that also is
that's such a weird term.
It's it's like an 80s shit where like literally you would have a packet with like your headshots and like
oh, John, can I please take your headshots?
These are all the funny bits that I have come up with.
These are all my sketches.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I'm pretty sure now. Now if you submit a packet to them, I think they can use your Twitter account or any jokes you tweet in like perpetuity.
They do. Yeah.
Jeez, I don't know how I feel about that.
I turn that in, and they start introducing a new character all of a sudden named Dr. YOLO McSwagmaster on SNL.
I do miss Weed Gamer as like your little epithet. I liked that one. That was cool. Or sobriquet, whatever you fucking
prefer. A man of many tastes.
Yeah.
I'm kind of, what's the word?
Eclectic.
Multifaceted. A Renaissance man.
Yes, a Renaissance man.
Yeah, you got some good ones there. That's nice. Fucking, what's the other one? Polymath. Yeah, John, you're a polymath.
So you mentioned Kristi Noem. She's the governor of your state.
Yes.
A lot of our show has been focused on how horrible the leadership in our state is, but I think South Dakota. I think we're in pretty direct competition with each other for worst run states.
I think every state is kind of in a competition to see which state can kill the most of their residents. But
I think that from what I've read, it's pretty comparable. Mm-hmm. Like I just moved my phone just now. Sorry. But like I don't know, like the Sturgis shit. Like oh my god.
Yeah, that was unique. That was a moment that happened. I don't know, like seeing Cuomo made me feel a little better, like hearing him like cop to like oh yeah, we just liquefy our elderly, let's move on.
Yeah, and we lie about it, no big deal. We just don't lie about like what was the thing, like they just we changed the reporting model to fall in line with like 33 other states, and that resulted in like 20,000 extra coronavirus cases here. And like if you look at a map now, it's like our entire state is like red. Just because they changed the reporting to like fall in line with other states.
Yeah, suddenly just thousands of backlogged cases get dumped.
Yeah. And, like there's, like, I don't know if you guys saw, like in Florida with that lady who was like an epidemiologist for the state, right? And they wanted her to lie about the numbers or whatever. I don't know if that's happening in South Dakota, but I would not be surprised if like in like 5 or 6 years, we all found out that like way more people died than they counted, because
I
just like
that's definitely a thing
with like our government, like not like, especially in South Dakota, you know, they're Republicans, they don't even want to admit this shit is real, like, so I wouldn't be surprised if they were.
Don't we have like 5 state senators with COVID right now, John?
Ours is like that too.
5.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I hope they all die.
I do too. I want those fuckers to like eat dirt. Sorry, it's hard for me to like be like thrilled talking about this like fucking like square. I don't know. I mean, okay, we were talking about Noem.
Yeah. I pulled up a story. She's in hot water this week because I've got a story here from Joe Sneeve of the Argus Leader.
Yeah, I've heard of Joe.
Sioux Falls paper.
I'm going in completely blind to this. I didn't know something happened.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's actually like that big of a deal, but it's just the most recent.
She does a lot of
scandals.
things that are like not that big of deal, but But like we have a very corrupt state, but it's corrupt not in a way where it's like super like tightly wound, just like this machine of evil. Like it's just morons like pissing and shitting themselves in a corner.
I have said that so many times about the Iowa legislature. Is you think these people are evil, and they are, but they are unbelievably dumb.
Yeah,
and so like that's a you like picture the government as being these like evil bureaucrats, and it's like no, they're fucking morons.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure at the
cunning.
national level, I know.
Yeah,
it's just like the stupidest, most insane losers. Like
they can't fill every seat with somebody who's smart. They have to put some dummies in there to do their bidding.
Yeah, and Kristi Noem really is, I think, like, you know, with the whole like insurrection and shit, people were kind of being like, oh, who's the next Trump and blah, blah, blah. And there were some people who were kind of like, oh, I think it could be Kristi Noem because she's loud and stupid and like does the whole rigmarole of being like, I'm defending liberty, you know, her whole thing. But like, you know, she's like very uncharismatic in my opinion. I mean, I don't know.
She's just like, she has like a horde of like horny apes who really, really like suck up to her.
This sounds literally exactly like you're describing Kim Reynolds.
Wait, is Kristi Noem hot?
Yeah, she's pretty hot.
God.
I mean, people are literally posting old pictures of Kim Reynolds.
That's
and
true.
Being
Yeah.
like,
Kim no way.
People like our friends.
We've had many friends like give out polls like, is Kristi Noem hot? And like people are just like begrudgingly yes. And
You looked her up.
You agree? Damn.
Natalie is the barometer here.
I'm the arbiter. She has some like gorgeous beachy waves. Yep. She's good hair.
For a politician, she looks pretty good.
For a politician, sure.
Absolutely.
They're
considering like
scale.
who she's
The
standing
demons
up
she
next
made a
to.
pact with haven't caught up to her yet.
No, she has it like her the picture that's hanging out in her attic where it's like you're
Dorian Gray.
Dorian Gray. Kim Reynolds was never attractive. No, young Kim Reynolds looks like
she looks like it. Like
she looks like an extra from Law and Order SVU.
Yeah, let me look at Kim Reynolds.
Wow,
not good. No,
I'm looking.
Kim Reynolds.
Yeah, she definitely it's more like a Parks and Rec like citizen complaining.
She does look like she belongs in government.
Yeah,
but Kristi Noem is like a threatening one because it's like all the like pretty TV ladies. It's like you have to have the hot combined with the like Ashley Hinson. She looks like she could be a pretty TV lady.
She was.
Yeah.
No, I know Ashley Hinson was, but
you mean
Kristi Noem?
Yeah.
It definitely reminds me of like I remember some stupid like post about like weaponizing aesthetics and how like this is what the enemy looks like, and it was like a picture of Ivanka Trump or whatever, and like I mean that's their whole thing. It's like they try and make themselves look as attractive as possible. They wear like nice clothing and they gussy up themselves. Why do I talk?
And they kind of say the right things at kind of the right times, and that's like enough for most people for them.
And then like standing next to like a fucking
crypt
buffoon,
keeper,
like a decrepit buffoon, like some of the like Republican dudes. It makes them look like so put
standing
together.
Next to Chuck Grassley, you can look pretty hot.
That is true. That is fucking very true.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Kim Reynolds thing is she just constantly says like, "Oh, we trust Iowans to be safe. Like, we trust Iowans to like do the right thing." And it's like that way she can excuse. No, yeah, that way she can excuse not doing anything because if you fuck up, then if like the COVID cases get out of control, then that's your fucking fault. It's not the government's fault. It's people's fault for not being responsible enough.
Yeah, that personal responsibility shit really fucks with people's brains. At work, like I deal with a lot of knuckle draggers, and it's particularly egregious when it's just like they don't complete the loop sometimes, where they don't cover up their nose, but like they'll just have it hanging off. Yeah. And I'm like 15, 20 years younger than some of these people, and I have to say, hey, cover your face up, and then they'll go off on a tirade like, can't you walk away a little bit? Like, no, I actually have to inhabit the space that I'm working in. And so I like it is this very atomized perspective that like people push so that way the government doesn't get shit for not doing their job in terms of public health.
They push all the liability. Well, I mean, they push whatever they can onto ordinary people.
Yeah.
And wearing a mask does suck. Like, I mean,
oh god,
especially if you wear glasses. That's makes sense to me. That seems miserable. Yeah.
I mean, I have to wear it for 8 hours at both my jobs.
Same.
And it sucks ass, but I mean, I don't want to die, so.
You don't want other people to die.
And I mean, on one hand, I can't get too mad at people for like not fucking caring, because it's like at this point, like the government's obviously not going to do anything to help anyone. And like now they're like, you should wear 2 masks or even 3 masks.
Yeah. It's so
and I'm
ridiculous.
like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
give us some fucking money.
Yeah.
How about that? That would help a lot more.
We're never getting that 1,400. That shit's just not happening.
I don't think we'll get it.
No. But then, John, it's interesting you mentioned, like, you get that people, like, why people don't care. Like, it does definitely appall me still. I'm like, come on, like, be courteous to others. But, like, when you are constantly told by your city, state, like, federal government, like, you got to support local businesses and eat indoors. And, like, I see so many people eat in restaurants and shit and just, like, nothing's happening. And, like, a restaurant's like, well, we really, care about COVID. We have specific guidelines. Like you walk in, wear your mask, sit down, and then when you eat, you take it off. Like it's nonsense. To most people, the masks are just like a social etiquette thing. It has nothing to do with any like tangible
formality.
Yeah. It's not like really even about the disease. It's just like, oh, I'll be judged if I don't do this. And it's, I get why people are apathetic, because it's just like, no one cares. Like the government doesn't care. I mean, so why should we?
People probably wouldn't have been so confused about masks if like liberals in the CDC hadn't told people for the first like 2 months that they shouldn't wear a mask because it'll make people panic.
It's fucked up.
Yeah. So that's probably a big reason why a bunch of people are confused on whether we should wear masks or not. And because they're stupid.
It's fucking criminal. I've like ranted a million times about how much I think Dr. Fauci should burn in hell.
Oh yeah,
I hate that.
But one of the reasons is because he knew that masks would help, but he knew there wasn't enough, and you were going to get blamed for it. And he also didn't want to like go against the administration, which is like showing us like some kind of like virtue, because he wanted to like work within the system.
Yeah.
And
because I'm one of the responsible people that people will listen to, and then I can't say that like the whole thing is bullshit. Like Trump's whole approach is wrong.
But him like quitting and then publicly coming out and saying this is what you need to do, and like this criminal negligence is happening, would be 10 times as like, you fucked up 2 pandemics and you're not rotting in prison. Fuck you. Like, you have killed millions of people. Like, he was the one who managed the American response to HIV. Like,
and we did a really great job with that, so.
Like, why are you allowed to show your face in public, let alone be in a new administration and so respected and like, it's a fucking monster. I hate that dude.
I thought about this the other day about how like, I mean, this is a cultural statement about like the nostalgia cycle, but like, it is wild to me, like this kind of 30-year like cycle of like horrible shit happening within like this sort of right-wing populist or like fascist like movement in regards to like, you got Reagan in the 80s, you have the AIDS epidemic or pandemic then, and you also have like huge dependencies on drugs, like the crack epidemic, and now like the opioid crisis, and just like again, it's just fucking never ending, and like in 30 years we're gonna get like Super Trump or some shit, and like just this kind of like ceaseless death machine. It feels like, and Fauci was back then. The same people that like caused like this fucking immense turmoil are still involved and have not faced any consequences. And it's just mind-boggling to me. These forces that have existed since before I was even like a fucking like glisten in my dad's ball sack. Fucking
just because they're like slightly more competent and slightly more like public relations friendly than the other bureaucrats. Like
that's the shift.
I think it's pretty interesting like how quickly a lot of people are just like gonna, I mean, if they're not crazy, which I think a majority of Americans are pretty much certifiably insane at this point, but like just how quickly Joe Biden is showing how he was lying about every single thing he said, happening so quickly. And I mean, it sucks. I wish he kind of wasn't lying, but
I wish I was wrong about him.
It's not just like, oh, I knew it. It is genuinely kind of disappointing that not a single one of the like mild shitty promises have been kept.
I thought there would be something, to be honest.
Well, his one thing is we're reopening the schools. So
we're gonna kill your
put him in the grinder.
That's his major effort in the first month here. Okay, Kristi, Noem.
Once again, we have sidewound ourselves.
Yeah, that's how it goes. That's a podcast for you. All right, so
pretty much.
Democrats in South Dakota are on the offensive against Governor Kristi Noem for her use of state airplanes for out-of-state trips they allege violates state law. Is this something that's been just blowing up the local media? Have you guys been seeing this on all the TVs?
I mean, I don't watch local news, to be honest.
But when I do watch local news, if they bring up Noem, they just say, like, some people, like, you know, the annoying loud ones are, like, complaining about her, like, grossly misusing her office. And then they move on. And that's it. Like, just like a couple people are really upset about this. I'm pretty sure they're talking about John and
I. I think she was using I'm pretty sure this whole thing was like her travel finances.
Yeah, she was using state-owned planes to attend political conventions, and it looks like just going on vacation, possibly.
Probably.
Definitely was.
I mean, she was hanging out with fucking Corey Lewandowski.
Fucking guy. I haven't heard that name in a while.
I think he's like one of her advisors. And she's been, she was traveling obviously for the Trump campaign, going all over the country while we were getting destroyed by the pandemic like everybody else has. She's like rarely ever in the state, so it's totally not surprising. But I mean, she's not going to get in trouble for it. It's fine.
Yeah, the South Dakota Democratic Party has called on the Attorney General Ravensborg. Is that
who is currently right now just got indicted for running a guy over in the middle of the night.
Oh, that guy. Okay. I remember that guy.
I remember that guy.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a statement of my own. This has nothing to do with our podcast. I just want to make this clear. Drinking and driving is not that big a deal.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding. Obviously, I'm fucking joking. I'm joking. Fucking no. It's just so fucking comical. It feels like what's that movie with Peter Sellers where he's like weird and Jesus being there? It feels like that.
Passion of the Christ.
Passion of the Christ. Every single person in South Dakota legislature just fails upwards and continues to just it's mind-boggling to me. I'm actually astonished that he's been indicted.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that he's not going to open a formal investigation as the state Democratic Party is asking him to.
Occupied with having run a dude over.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about South Dakota, and that one was big enough that I remember reading.
If you look up a picture of Jason Ravensborg, the attorney general who's, like ran a dude over, if you go look up a picture of him and tell me he wasn't drunk when he did it. I don't think
Is he claiming he's not?
He claimed he was not drunk, although
I can't tell which direction his face is pointing. Like I'm looking at him, he looks like he's like folded a little bit on his head, like skull. Jeez.
Oh my God, look at his brow. Oh my God, his face is too tiny for his head. He looks like a thumb.
He does have a tiny little face.
Noem's office is called the Allegations of Illegal Travel Activity, Media Manipulation, and defended the governor's use of the state plane for out-of-state trips as ones taken in her role as an ambassador for South Dakota.
Right.
Oh,
it's all about all about the tourism.
Yeah, baby.
Just people need to be aware that South Dakota is one of the 49 states.
I think it's funny too. Like the South Dakota Democrats are just like going to be like, was that illegal? Not do that. And then they'll be like, shut the fuck up. This is a witch hunt. Oh my God.
Exactly. South Dakota Republican Party Chairman Dan Lederman told the Argus Leader that it's nothing more than a baseless witch hunt.
Yeah.
You called it.
In fairness, to like the Republicans, our Democrats like 3 years ago got in a lot of trouble for like, God, what was it? John, was it money laundering? Or like someone was like
something like that.
Yeah,
I mean they were defrauding.
I love America, you guys.
Hold up, I can't fucking remember. Like a dear friend of mine was working in the party, and like it just everything dissolved in like a week.
Yeah, they had to like go bankrupt, and they only have an office in Sioux Falls now. I might be wrong, but they basically went bankrupt and are like trying to rebuild the party, which good fucking luck. But yeah, I mean, Democrats used to actually kind of have some power in South Dakota, and then it's the story of a lot of places where they just kind of tack to the center, and there's no reason to vote for them.
Yeah,
if you're, you might as well just vote for the Republicans.
Same here.
Yeah,
it says here that they introduced a couple of bills aimed at bringing some more transparency around the governor's use of funds in the state legislature, but those were basically immediately like thrown away by the Republicans.
Yeah, it looks like they laundered campaign donations.
Through
on the way to the Hillary victory fund.
Of course, it was the Hillary people.
They did that with like every state party, I think.
It's similar. Yeah, I was gonna say it's similar here with like Reynolds like misspending all like the COVID-19 CARES Act funds for like her own staffers and like just like finding contractors that they could give money who just happen to be Republican donors, that sort of thing.
She spent COVID money on buying gaming rigs for the state patrol.
Yeah.
We need to start working for a politician, guys. I need to get a new computer.
I think I've maybe disqualified myself from any sort of work like that at this point.
Yeah.
I just got suspended from Twitter by telling someone to stick their hands in a blender, so I don't think I'm going to be. Running for office anytime soon.
Man.
Hey, you know what? If Lauren Boebert can do it,
that's true.
Jesus Christ. Oh,
she's cool.
John, can you fix her?
I want to go to a restaurant.
Shooters, right? That's come up a few times recently.
Shooters Bar and Grill.
It's like Hooters with guns.
Shooters, it's Hooters but guns instead of breasts.
Yeah.
Yes. And diarrhea.
Oh, is it really gun themed?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think everything about it is
unfortunately.
Do the guns make her more attractive to you, Natalie?
Kind of.
I think knives generally, like, if someone can threaten me with a blade, I'm like, oh, here's something.
Yeah. It's close and personal.
Yeah.
I like a strong woman. I don't know if I like a violent woman.
No, I want someone who could kill me, not someone who will.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Like a woman with the mark of the beast.
God, what are you on? Jesus Christ. Fucking, you're on that poop weed, right?
Yeah. Smoke on that poop.
Jankum?
I've been into the state capitol before, and the day I was there, I got trapped in an elevator and for like 5 hours.
What?
Yeah, what?
Oh, when I was in high school, I was really heavily involved with marching band, and so we visited the state capitol at one point to like perform the national anthem. It was a miserable time. It was astonishing to see like all these people like lumbering around, like their
were you
knees
trapped in the elevator with your tuba or whatever?
I fucking played trombone, you little shit.
Okay.
No, yeah, actually, I was trapped in the elevator holding my trombone. I was with my band director and like 8 other people. It was so tight and it was getting really hot. And I think we had a state senator in there with us. He's like, it's just another day at work. And I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of
just getting trapped in the elevators all the
time. It's just cooking their brains. That's why they're like that. Their brains are just cooked.
That was like an early Chapo running joke, was all of these like Republican weirdos getting trapped in elevators all the time.
I guess it's common in the South Dakota State House. They also, I don't know if we mentioned this when you guys came on our show, but like back at the time, like around that time, there was a scandal that a bunch of Republican politicians from South Dakota were getting drunk in the State House and going into the session drunk, which is really funny. And, I mean, this is America, baby.
That shouldn't be illegal. That's fine.
I agree. You should be allowed to go to work drunk.
John, like, what were we even, like, we were mentioning, like, the shit with them, like, pushing off Amendment A, the judge.
Is that the weed thing?
Yeah, that's the weed thing.
Yeah,
so,
like,
I
wanted to bring that up today, too.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, we're mad about it.
So you guys had, like, a ballot measure.
I would be very mad about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be so mad.
You had something on the ballot for the presidential election voting on whether weed should be legal, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we did.
Yep.
And it won. I don't know the numbers, but I assume it won pretty easily.
It was like 56 to 60-ish, I think, something like that. Or was it more, John?
54 to what would 45?
Yeah.
So a convincing margin.
Oh man! So the next day you woke up and were like, "We're gonna have legal weed."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then it was taken from you. Oh my god.
Yeah, I assume if it was on the ballot, pretty much any state would probably vote to legalize weed at this point. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Very few people still give a shit about that.
Yeah. One of them is Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Yes.
The father.
And Kamala.
Yeah. Mass incarceration and all that. You
got to give the police something to do.
Right.
Yeah. They gotta post pictures of a single gram and $10 on their Facebook to show the big bust they did.
Look at how much weed we confiscated. Ooh.
And I mean, one of the things too, I think the lawsuit that like the judge used to strike down the amendment to legalize recreational weed was started by 2 highway patrol officers. Yeah. So, like they were just like, man, we're going to be so bored if we can't be searching people's cars.
Or like planting shit as they do.
Yeah.
Christ. I actually had a conversation today with a coworker who was planning on being a pig, and it was really delightful just like hearing him babble on about like all the boring shit he does. And like, man, I hope you do less than nothing.
Man, I hope you get shot.
Yeah, I was thinking that in the way back of my mind, but obviously it would be a little impolite to say something like that to someone's face.
Wait, so a lawsuit happened claiming what?
Okay, well, the problem was that there were multiple things on one amendment. That was like a loophole, kind of like, Al Capone got because of taxes, not because of the actual shit that they were trying to get him for. Like, they're trying to stop and subvert democracy. They're like, oh God, how do we pull this off? Like, everyone wanted this, or like most of the state wanted this, then so, how? And they just did this illegal loophole, basically. It's just like, you can't have, there's nothing
it's
explicitly saying.
It's a procedural thing. Rather than
a clerical kind of approach.
Yeah. Earlier this month, South Dakota circuit judge appointed by Governor Kristi Noem, named Christina Klinger, rejected the motion to legalize weed, arguing that it would have far-reaching effects on the basic nature of the state's government to the point of being unconstitutional.
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about?
Instead of being drunk, they're going to be having like really existential thoughts just laying around on the Senate floor. Fucking can't have that shit.
They're going to stop running everyone over and they're just going to actually like chill.
Yeah.
They're going to be like driving 25 miles per hour in a 55.
I think, there should be drug tests for representatives and they should be kicked out if they're not testing positive.
I'm looking forward to the very first LSD Congress in like 2029. That's just going to be tight. I think they would reach better. It would be better than what we have now, for sure. Yeah. I don't know.
Be more in touch with the universe, for sure.
Open your fucking mind, bro.
Yeah, at least Congress is really in touch with the universe right now.
Yeah, that's
God,
something you can fall
with
back
the
on.
kente cloth and all that shit. That would be delightful. That'd be a lot of shit happening at once.
I forgot that they went out and Nancy Pelosi put the Hotep Kente cloth on and went out. Oh man!
Yeah, they were all doing like the Wakanda salute from
Yeah.
Black Panther.
How soon we forget.
Yeah, the fucking kneel, and they had to be like helped up because they're all like like one foot's in the grave.
You shouldn't make them kneel for such a like pointless photo op. That's like dangerous to their health.
Do you remember when that pharmacist came out and said that he fills Alzheimer's prescriptions for tons of members of Congress and nothing happens about it?
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
Remember how we found out that Dianne Feinstein's brain is just lumpy oatmeal and she was just allowed to continue to like run everywhere?
Yeah, that story came out.
Run for re-election too.
Yeah,
Why
that story came out like right
to?
after the election, and when was her last election? I don't even remember.
This wasn't it?
I think she's up for re-election the next
in 22.
I think 2022. I think she's up for re-election.
Yeah,
and she's going to run again.
It was around the Amy Coney Barrett thing.
Oh
which
yeah,
because she was like,
that's right.
She was like, "You slap, I love you." The fact that it was like 1 week before the election, it's just incredible. It's incredible.
There's a lot of things that happened in a like fluid sequence of time in 2020 that just like are so fucking bewildering to even consider for half a second in passing. Jesus Christ.
I mean, that was the whole thing with like the Trump administration where they're like, it's like their shit is happening so quickly that like
occasionally I'll remember something that happened or something crazy he did and I'll be like, oh yeah.
I mean, to be honest, it's probably been that way since like a 24-hour like news cycle, like since CNN was a thing. But
okay, this is gonna make you even more angry.
Please.
The circuit judge Klinger, who was appointed in 2019, ruled that the amendment violated a state requirement that restricts such measures to a single topic.
Yeah, that was it. That was the thing.
As written, Amendment A covered taxes, business licensing, and hemp cultivation. So that's more than one topic. So
yeah, what's that?
We can't talk about these shits.
And I guess it's being appealed. So I don't know. It might go to the state Supreme Court, and maybe the state Supreme Court will not be as interested in overturning an election for basic. I mean, I'm surprised Kristi Noem went this far with it because I thought she was just gonna like kind of make some noise about it and then just do it because like they're doing a whole tourism push. I figured they'd just be like, well, fuck it, money's money.
Yeah, you want like a Colorado style bump.
Makes sense to do that. I mean, it's a gorgeous state. Like, I mean, there's some parts of it that are barren.
Don't you want to go and eat an edible and sit in the Badlands? Like,
No, that sounds tight as hell. Or like, oh fuck yeah, being like up in the mountains too is really really nice. Like, Jesus Christ, that sounds pretty fucking tight. Fuck you, Kristi. No, now I'm really agitated.
I'm about to go hiking and take an edible. Fuck.
Ugh. It's been a hot minute since I've enjoyed anything.
Yeah.
That's just the end of the sentence. I mean, in context to everything.
It's insane the lengths that they'll go just to oppose something that's like what, like 50, like you said, 54% of the people voted for it. Like you're going out of your way.
In like a deep red state.
Yeah. You're going out of your way to like go against the fucking prevailing public sentiment.
Yeah, people who probably voted for her too. So, it's just like...
That's among people who voted. If you encounter the people who don't vote, it's got to be like 75%.
Yeah, a lot of people who didn't ordinarily vote definitely came out for
I guess that's true.
AN26.
There's going to be people with like felony drug charges that couldn't vote also.
Yeah, that too.
Who would certainly benefit from legalization.
I think
can't put
a very
them to
big
work
part
in
of it is
system,
we're one of the worst states in regards to incarceration, especially for Black and Indigenous people.
Yeah,
and I think for like a long fucking time, this has just been the way that they enforce that and utilize that.
Same here. I mean, it's like this is more progressive than like, I mean, we haven't even had the chance to legalize weed here.
Yeah, it hasn't even been on the ballot.
We barely have medical.
Yeah.
Well, we can't really do ballot measures here.
For example, like Minnesota has had like semi-decriminalized weed for like 30, 40 years.
They have medical. They've had medical,
but then they also have like decriminalized where it's like if it's a small amount, it's like a fine instead of going to jail. It's not considered a criminal affair.
I think it's up to like 2 ounces in at least in St. Paul where I was living.
I mentioned this multiple times. I got arrested over a half-smoked bowl of weed. My friend and I had literally taken a hit each off of a pipe of weed. That's all we had.
Oh, jeez, wow.
Went to jail over it. It was good.
Have you guys tried that Delta 8 crap?
I don't know what that is even.
Oh,
shit.
It's like
Delta H THC. I mean, like the normal THC is Delta 9 THC, so I assume it's like similar.
Yeah, it's literally on like the boxes that they sell, it's like 96.7% THC. Not in a sense of like the contents of this are like it is almost THC, like this chemical that we put here. It's almost chemically THC. That's legal. You can buy that in just like vape shops in South Dakota. Like we're basically already like have like psychoactive substances that they're just letting.
Does that work? Does it work?
Well, I'm a very bad person to ask because I like hallucinate and have like I get psychotic with weed. Genuinely,
it's like spice really shit. Where like they found there's like all kinds of synthetic cannabinoids that they've.
Right. Is it like that one?
It's not like K2. It's not like K2. It just feels.
I was smoking a ton of that at one point, and it's awful.
That sounds scary. I don't want to ever know what that's like because it's like not just like psychoactive. It's like a deliriant, right? It like makes you. Like really.
Oh, it was awful.
There's so many different types of actual chemicals in there. You don't really know which one you're getting when you just buy some like shit at a gas station or whatever.
It's pretty unsavory.
But I just really wanted to get high. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
I'm not criticizing you. I'm just sorry that you had to experience K fucking 2.
I was like 18 or 19 and I couldn't get any weed. Yeah. And so I was buying that all the time and it's just awful. And the way it like tears up your throat and lungs is not, I mean, it just wrecks you. It hurts so bad. It like, because you're just not supposed to like burn potpourri and suck it into your lungs.
It's just a bunch of random shit and they spray whatever chemicals on it.
Do you know that some people, you know what? I shouldn't just bring shit like this up and all right, fuck it. Some people smoke their own feces.
Yeah, I said
like out of
earlier.
A pipe.
Yeah.
People smoke feces out of a pipe, and it like they get hallucination and like visions. And
I think the Jenkum stories were about huffing it, rather than smoking. Smoking it might have a different word.
Yeah.
Yo, we're making edibles. If anyone wants to come over.
I'm just fucking exhausted by this state. Like, there's nothing about South Dakota that I don't like. I hate it. I can't hate it without also loving it. It is my home, but it's just like, I don't know how many times I can just be like, oh, they did the wrong thing again. Oh, they did a fucking shitty thing again. Like, it's just like every time looking through news, like, oh, Smithfield catastrophe, like, and then following that, you got Sturgis, and then following that, you got like this shit on the ballot and like failing. And I don't know, like, I don't have very high hopes for like the progressive movement here, but like at least insofar as like electoral politics, because like the Democrats are just fucking like limp-wristed, just incapable of doing anything here. Besides, putting money into their own pockets.
Yeah, I mean that's all they have familiar. Left. Yeah. Yeah, much the same here. So in addition to the judge just throwing out your legal weed that everyone wanted. The governor has also delayed by a year implementing medical marijuana in your state, which should be a no-brainer. I mean, it should just be legal. That shouldn't be controversial. But medical, like, should have been an option for a long time already, probably.
Yeah, I mean, that is really, like, I mean, it sucks for me that I'm probably not going to be able to go fucking smoke a blunt and walk across the street and just chill out. I just want to smoke a blunt in front of a cop and be like, hey, what's up, bitch? Fuck you.
Yeah. But that's the dream.
Like, I'll be all right without that. But like, there's a lot of, there really is a lot of benefits to medical weed. And it's just like, what the fuck are you doing?
I mean,
like,
usually when I try to explain it to people, like to, the geezers, what it takes is mentioning that it genuinely assists with Parkinson's and with seizure disorders and things like that. And they still won't budge. There's like, it genuinely is just like propagandistic, like stigma over like decades used to punish black people and indigenous people. And it's like
reefer madness.
Yeah, no, but it is the reefer madness shit. It's just like people like saying, oh, it makes you dumb. But like most people in the state are just very comfortable, like getting trashed and, clobbering some people like on, behind the wheel, whatever. It's fine. It's no big deal. It's no big deal.
And that was also a ballot initiative, I think.
Yes, that also. I think that one passed.
It says 70%. Like 70. Yeah. In this article.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Was it with the increase of speed limit? Is that what it was?
No. The medical weed. Medical weed passed with 70%.
Yeah, medical weed
approval.
was. It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
Wasn't there was a bill though recently to like increase the speed limit in I think it might have been North Dakota actually.
Maybe.
Because you guys already have
it is
on the
weird.
Yeah.
Like, I've gone to the Badlands and driving, or like, and kind of driven across the state for to see pretty stuff. And it is weird that there basically are no speed limits. You can just go as fast as you want.
Yeah,
and there's
like
no
the Audubon
one for
type
miles
beat.
around. Yeah, that's what it felt like. It's like, I haven't seen a soul in 2 hours. And it's like, the speed limit's like 80 or more.
It's 80.
So I'm just flying, and it's just like, I have never been like where you can just go whatever speed. Like I truly felt like I could go as fast as I wanted.
Yeah,
I haven't seen a soul. Like, that's just a wild feeling. Like,
yeah,
it's fun.
You really feel like you're out in the boonies in South Dakota for sure.
Yeah, I was just flying and looking at the hills, and I was going like 90, 95, and it's just weird. It's a weird feeling, but like I hadn't seen anyone in 2 hours, and like crazy.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I miss that. I do miss driving above all else, like driving frequently to like see friends and go to places. Being trapped inside and not being able to like do that is kind of soul deadening. It would be cool if we lived in if John, would you say that Brookings is a walkable town?
Kind of. Sioux Falls is definitely not, though.
No, it's fucking terrible here.
And that's like your urban center, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like here, there's like, even in the, bigger cities in Iowa, it's like there are some neighborhoods where you can walk to, the corner store and there's sidewalks and all that stuff. But then there's like other areas where it's just like, no, there's not a chance. Like, everything is super spread out and very spread out. Yeah.
I was walking to work a while ago, but I would have to go like through parking lots and over train tracks and stuff. And this is probably one of the most walkable areas.
Yeah, Iowa City is very walkable, but most cities in Iowa are not.
I was kind of taking shortcuts.
Yeah.
Walking through the woods and stuff, but
that sounds nice. That sounds very pleasant.
It was cool.
Like that.
Yeah, it was cool.
It's been hard. I live like right next to the bars, and it's just been like really hard not to just give up and be like, fuck it. I'm gonna go take a bunch of shots and get fucked up and just forget about COVID, but I just cannot bring myself to do it.
I appreciate you having that compass in you.
You should do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I am vaccinated, but I still shouldn't do it.
No, of course not. Yeah.
You can still spread it.
Yeah. And also the people who are down there right now.
It's Gungy. It's gungy. There's gunge there, John.
What the fuck is gunge?
You guys, okay. I love sharing this word.
Gunge.
In the US, we say slime. In the United Kingdom, that like snaggletooth ass country, they say gunge instead of slime.
Interesting.
And I like it better because like it sounds like it's got more viscosity. So I say gunge a lot. I apologize.
Are you stealing British Valor, Matt?
The more you know.
Yeah. You know how much I love the Anglos, John.
Yeah.
Maybe the only country that's done a worse job than us. Yeah.
Way more transphobic and fucking.
Yeah, Turf Island over there.
Yeah, that is one thing that's kind of interesting is that our American liberals are like, they're much more open to trans people than the Brits. I don't know what's in the water over there.
Something's wrong with them. I don't.
Something's wrong. Yeah.
At the very least, there's like performative sort of
approach. Yeah. I mean, you can definitely tell like there was a shift where like wealthier liberals were like, oh, let's pretend to be all right with trans people now. There is a lot of thinly veiled disgust still.
It's a lot easier to like understand. I think the like identity issues because it's like a personal thing versus like understanding like economic issues where it's
more
just like
systemic.
People are way more confident in their opinions about like identity issues than they are about like anything regarding economics.
And things are free. Like it doesn't. You can feel great about legalizing gay marriage without making any material changes to society or, challenging capitalism in any way. Like, and you get to feel really good about it.
Yep.
But once you start talking about like reparations or like, like actual justice for gay people, it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. It boils down to like equality for everyone to like suffer under the same horrible material system that already exists.
I've got one more thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. Well, I didn't really research like anything that we talked about today, but I especially didn't research.
Hell yeah, brother!
This is just a Wikipedia article, but I was reading about like all of your politicians that have DUIs, that have done hit and runs. It's a lot of them, right? And, you guys know who Bill Janklow is? Your former governor?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was the governor for a really long time.
Oh shit! Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's kind of your. Ours is Branstad. Yeah, he's like your equivalent of our Branstad.
Yeah, he's like the godfather of South Dakota politics.
And he had 2 separate terms, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
also like
Branstad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the governor before the one we have now was like that. So I was reading about him, like really a gungy kind of guy.
Yay!
And let me read this paragraph here from his controversies section on his Wikipedia.
It's always a good sign when your Wikipedia page has a controversy section.
Yeah. That's the first thing you click on, for sure.
Zoom penis incident. All right.
In 1974, a month before the election for state attorney general, for which Janklow was a candidate, Jancita Eagle Deer filed a petition through her attorney Larry Leventhal and tribal advocate Dennis Banks to disbar Janklow to keep him from practicing in tribal court.
Oh, yeah. Because Janklow is a rapist also.
Yes, that's what this story is kind of.
Yeah.
What?
According to Banks, in early 1967, Eagle Deer, then a 15-year-old Lakota schoolgirl at the Rosebud boarding school on the Rosebud Indian Reservation, reported to her school principal that Janklow, her legal guardian, and for whom she was working as a babysitter, had raped her on January 13th. I mean, it seems like just nothing happened to him. He was being investigated by...
When he died, Dugard said that flags be flown at half-mast in 2012. I remember that, like, when I was in school.
I believe the person who he raped was... because I think we talked about it on an episode, but she was, like, kind of related to some people or, like, knew people who were involved with, like, AIM... the American Indian movement, and Janklow, I believe, was the attorney general for a lot of that time, and I'm pretty sure he helped. I think she got murdered also, right?
Yeah, I was going to get to that. In April 1975, Jancita, I don't know if I'm saying her first name wrong.
I think it's Jacinta.
Jacinta? The N comes before the C, but anyway,
Jacinta, yeah.
Okay, Eagle Deer was killed at night in a hit-and-run accident in southern Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
After her death, her stepmother advocated on the young woman's behalf, and then her stepmother was murdered in an unsolved case 9 months later in 1976.
Yep. And that's the Bill Janklow legacy. He was very, he was Republican in South Dakota. So of course they were very, racist and against the American Indian movement. But, a lot of them, there's South Dakota is one of those places where, it's kind of a little rural place, kind of in the middle of nowhere. You wouldn't think there's anything bad going on, but because it's so small and rural, shit can happen out in the countryside, you know what I mean? And especially if you're native and you're trying to fucking speak out against the government. So
yeah, he was being investigated by the FBI for the rape charges, and President Gerald Ford basically got that all dismissed.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was being appointed to the board of something that Ford had some influence over.
Yeah, he was a real piece of shit.
Yeah, this is I've said several times, it seems like there's a lot of similarities between the corruption in both of our states, but I don't think I've read anything quite this
so grotesque,
horrible and blatant about any Iowa politicians. But I'm sure I will find something this horrible someday.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's not really much to say. It's
pretty crazy when you if you start to do a little research and just really read into the American Indian movement and shit that was happening in South Dakota, you kind of realize that and I mean even in 2016 or whatever with the water protectors and stuff, they invited basically paramilitary organizations and cops from 30 different places in to put the protesters down and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, deal with overwhelmingly, all peaceful protests.
Yeah, and I mean they even used counterinsurgency
They used the water cannons and shit, right?
Yeah, they had Bearcats as well, if I recall.
Yep, it's crazy shit.
Dude, fuck Obama straight to hell.
I know, right?
He needs to fucking burn in hell. Fuck you, motherfucker.
He will go down as the greatest obstacle to progress, I think, in the U.S.'s history. He was just stood between us and even again basic fucking social democracy. Couldn't have that shit.
Right. He couldn't have done anything. He had so much power.
Yeah, and in the middle of an economic crisis where
Yep, and a super majority, and what he squandered is fucking criminal.
They couldn't even increase the minimum wage with a 59-seat Senate majority.
Which is crazy.
It's insane.
He was his election was the second end of history, in the sort of Fukuyama sense. With the end of the Cold War being everything's done. Obama's all right, after 9/11, after the fucking recession, it's there's hope now. We can just turn our brains off and not focus.
He gave white liberals an excuse to just drop out because they were I voted for him. I'm not racist. I'm one of it's just literally I'm on the good side. That's all it takes.
Yep.
Yeah, all we need is maintenance now. We figured everything out. Yep. We just need to perpetuate this. What we've got now. For the rest of time, we're all set.
The sun's coming out.
He should. And now I pull it up for the future when I try to run for office.
I might that one.
Again, Republicans are worse, but that doesn't mean a whole fucking
you're
lot.
You're welcome to cut that out, Justin. But
it's the problem with Obama. For me, it's it's just the time of age or the time when I came up and became aware about politics, where it's Obama was presented as being he's a break from the Democratic establishment. He's not Hillary Clinton.
Right.
He beat Hillary Clinton. He's
why do you think they let him beat Hillary Clinton?
Right. It was because I was naive as shit at the time.
No, not you. I'm saying I should have thought that as a time.
No, yeah, we should have. In retrospect, if I knew what I knew now, like, it would have been obvious. I mean, when he chose Joe Biden to be his fucking vice president.
You should have known. Yeah, I mean, I didn't. The one person in the world I know is Brandon Engmark. Shout out to you. You, like...
Oh, yeah. I mean...
crotchety weirdo. He knew. Sorry for calling you that.
No, I definitely had, like, more radical friends who were like...
He knew. Right. And it was like...
and it took me a longer time to come around. But...
Love that dude. He was, like, one of the only people I knew who, like, knew and would say it.
Like, around when did he, like, have this kind of, like, epiphany then? Or, like, awareness?
I don't know. He was saying it from, like, day one. Like, he's a warmonger. This is all a lie. Yeah. I don't know. And I don't know anyone else who knew it from day one.
That's just, like, that kind of intuition that's, like... I mean, I could never fucking know. I was 8. So, like... looking back, I do vividly remember how hopeful people were, and like, just what a way to squander that. Like reading snippets from like his like memoir or whatever, where he talks about like, you know, how the like you can like feel like his barely like restrained seething for the American left, and like people being mad at him for, you know, like compromising with the conservatives. Like all he did was just like kid gloves, you know, the entire time. And that's the Democratic Party's like biggest obstacle for the future is like getting over seeing Obama as being basically like the second coming. They do genuinely deify the Obamas in a similar manner.
Yeah, he acted like he had no choice in the matter, and then just like basically said like this public support wasn't there. But it's like, you're a leader, like as a leader, you should bring up. I mean, you won a huge mandate. Like,
he definitely, and again, he was aware of these things and he recognized their importance. Like the second, like the bailout happened, it was like, oh yeah, okay, everything was just like, it was horseshit. Like I remember the like controversy. I can't fucking recall the like name of the reverend, but like this Southern preacher,
Reverend Wright.
Yeah. That
goddamn
dope
America.
As hell. Yeah, goddamn America, the fucking classic.
America's chickens are coming home to roost.
Yeah,
regarding 9/11, which is like totally spot on.
Yeah, he was absolutely correct.
Yeah, and I like was like, damn, Obama like has like bumped shoulders with like people who are this based, but no, again, it's all nonsense.
Threw him under the bus.
Jesse Jackson is good. Obama was not as good.
Yeah,
Jesse Jackson was good. He
was about the Rainbow Coalition, about like multiracial solidarity and like
He was
union
like kind
appeal.
of a
if he won the nomination, then Jesus Christ,
there was no way that was going to happen back then.
Yeah, they would have just loaded him up full of bullets before he could have.
Right.
Like Bernie lucked out compared to what they would have done to Jesse Jackson.
Christ.
But he was good. He was like, I got on a kick last year when I watched all of his like old speeches and stuff, and like, man, we done fucked up.
Yeah.
Like,
He would have been a break from the like neoliberalism, like before it really kicked in and got worse, like before Clinton, you know.
We've fucked up a lot, but also, I mean, we don't have that much of a say is the problem.
Yeah.
It's not so much the people's fault as the fault of everyone who has all of the influence and power over how all of this stuff is run.
Obama ran on single payer. It's not our fault that
Well, he ran more on like a public option still, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, still, like...
Healthcare was
that was a big difference between him and Hillary, where like that was like probably the biggest distinction. Yeah. Yeah,
he ran on ending the Iraq War, too.
Yeah.
Like, how are we supposed to know that was a lie? I mean, if you're Brandon, you knew, but everyone else didn't.
Yeah. Well, like, in retrospect, it's like, if Obama would have had the opportunity to vote for the Iraq War, do you really think he wouldn't have? Like, I think he would have. I mean...
Yeah.
I think it's pretty clearly that he would have, because he would have gone with the Democratic establishment, you know, which is his MO, which fuck them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, we've been going for like an hour 15 or so now, so I think it's a good time for us to wrap things up.
Yeah.
Thank you, John and Matt, for coming on our show. Where should people look to find your show and yourselves? What do you want them to look at?
Well, thanks for having us on, because our podcast is on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's just called Radio Free South Dakota.
Radio Free SD, if you want to do the rhyming thing.
Yeah, and I'm actually like, I appreciate you guys inviting us on, and
this was a delight. Thank you so much.
We recorded 2 episodes this past week or so that have gotten corrupted. So like we're supposed to have 1 episode out each week, and they both got fucked up.
Wow.
So they were good episodes too. We were proud of those shits.
We were doing it great, and they got fucked up. And so you hit me up, and I was like, okay, well, I don't want to record one of my episodes, so I'll go do somebody else's podcast.
You'll put something out.
Yeah. And you can follow us on Twitter our @ is RFSD Pod. And you can follow my personal Twitter at the Bible Pimp 69.
Right on.
A Trailer Park Boys reference.
I might have to change my Twitter because it has my last name in it. But if you find me and want to follow me, I won't stop you.
He's not hard to find once you know where the podcast is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or once you know his last name.
Yeah, those guys, they've had bigger guests than us, really. I mean, you guys had
Noem
Finkelstein on your show, which is like pretty incredible.
That's all John. John has an immense talent for just being like, hey, can you come on? And then other people being like, okay. And then it's just, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
I just emailed them. And it worked. Email Norman Finkelstein. He will respond to you. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you guys got him like several months before Truanon got him.
I know, right? I saw that.
And I was trying to tell people, I was like, look, he's done this before. This isn't his first podcast.
That was such a like surreal experience talking to him, because it was just like, do I have the camera correct? I'm like, yeah, you do. It's all good, baby.
Yeah, he's a super interesting guy, and those conversations with him were really interesting too.
He is really interesting and cool, and I was insane. He gave me his number to call him, and I was like, hello, Mr. Finkelstein. Like, okay, calm down. Yeah. I was pretty nervous the first time I called him.
John, you're a little sweetie pie. Do you know that?
Yeah.
You're a little angel.
The anti-Alan Dershowitz.
Yeah, right.
Next time we should get the Dersh on the pod and just verbally abuse him the whole time.
I would love to speak with Alan Dershowitz. He's so hot.
All right, I think we can say goodbye there.
Yeah, we can give our little salutations. Yeah, thanks for having us. Podcast. Love you guys. Much obliged.
Yep. Thank you guys.
Thanks again, guys. Good to see you. Peace. And thanks everyone who listens to this, and thank you for listening. You can go to our Patreon if you want. We have more stuff on there. It's only $1 a month, and I'll have a new episode with Evan and I discussing chapters 1 and 2 of Republican Crackhead very soon.
Yep.
Goodbye.